All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we could take advantage of in this Forex market. So, without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we can participate and engage. So, if everybody can hear me loud and clear and you are ready to go on this Thursday morning, do me a favor, drop me a one in the chat and we can get this session started. All right, Mendoza, I see the one coming in. All right, so we are good to go. Who else? Let me see. I got a slight delay. Okay. All right, I see it coming in now. Okay. We are all set. And good morning, Beneath. Good morning, Joy. All right, so let's jump out, right? Let's make sure that we go over our credo. Make sure that every morning that we take action, make sure that we are accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome. Let's make sure that we center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading. Let's make sure that we trust in our education, our strategy, trading skills, and intuition. Let's make sure that we imagine our trade successfully materializing and that we obey our trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed and fear. And let's really make sure that we are never looking back on stopping once your trades have commenced, right? That's very, 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 very important, right? We win the war before it starts, right? We calculate our risk management, we do our technical and fundamental analysis, we make the trade, and we let it go. All right, so let me close out of here. We'll go over, hold on one second. We got some other folks joining us. Good morning, everybody. Glad to see everybody. Got some other folks joining us. And I think we're good to go there. And we'll take a look over what's going on today. Let's start at trading economics. We can see car sales in Euro drop for the first time in 17 months. Uh, Eurozone current account surplus wise in November. European shares rebound after steep losses. Brent crude prices rise above $78. So we'll make sure that we take a look at WTI crude. That was Brent. Australia inflation expectations unchanged for January. So not too much. A lot of they're over in I think Davos, Switzerland. Huge conference. The main thing is you're getting a lot of pushback from the central bankers that are speaking, saying, "Hey, uh, don't count on those early rate cuts." Right? Again, the whole back and forth is the market is pricing in 6 rate cuts. Most central banks are talking about maybe 3. At the end of the day, let's just remember that we do expect rate cuts this year. It's just a matter of how many. That's the tug of war that's going on right now between the market and the central banks. If we take a look at yesterday, retail sales came in pretty hot for the United States. So that's point fed on that one when they're talking about, hey, three rate cuts, possibly not 6, and possibly not a rate cut in March, as some investors are thinking. Right, you got core retail sales that came in hot for December. Then we have Barr speaking, Bowman speaking. Let me see, William Barr. Let's see if there's anything quick. No, nothing there. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, but in regards to the ECB, right, which everybody was waiting on to see what Lagarde had to say as ECB members had spoken up, but the president hadn't yet. And Lagarde says right here in this article, aggressive rate cut bets don't help the ECB, right? So I'm not gonna bet on those early rate cuts. So we'll see how it goes. That was on Wednesday. Coming into today, we're looking at 8:30. We've got monetary policy meeting accounts. We'll see what comes out of that. We've got another FOMC member, Bostic, speaking today. In the United States, we've got unemployment claims coming out. And then we got Lagarde speaking again, right? So anytime you have major central bankers speaking, it has the ability to create some volatility in the market. So we'll see what Lagarde has to say again at 10:15 this morning. And that's that on Thursday. Ryan, anything out there fundamentally that you're taking a look at? Good morning, by the way, sir.
Good morning, bro. No, that's it that I got on my radar so far.
All right, all right. Any questions out there amongst the inner circle family in regards to the fundamentals? No. So I'm basically waiting, Ryan, to see who cuts first. That's my thing. For this year. Who makes the move first on the cut? So far they're holding pretty steady. Nothing yet.
Yeah, yeah, I'm in agreement with you on that one. It'll be interesting. Because like you said, I'm not betting on what investors are saying to come to fruition.
No, I've been pretty good for the most part but with sticking by the Fed. I just don't see it is I don't see it coming down as fast as they raised them, the rates. So
Correct.
I don't think we're gonna see it early, especially with that retail sales spread. Now, granted, that's coming out of December, uh, with holidays and everything else. So we'll see. We'll see how it
Yeah.
goes. I know one thing that I'm paying close attention to is that uh at least here in the United States, the employment numbers uh have been coming through good, but later every last one of them, I believe, has been revised down. So just continuing
Mm,
just continuing to watch that play out. When we talk about that hard landing, soft landing type of thing, or scenario. Uh, that's been a subject of a topic of a lot of conversations. So just continuing to watch to see how that plays out. Joy
yeah,
said, "Yep, another round of layoffs just happened."
yeah.
Yes,
Multiple places.
really.
Yeah,
Wow.
you had your auto manufacturers. I believe
Okay.
multiple because GM was also doing some as well. So multiple auto manufacturers laid folks off. Here in Michigan, DTE is doing a round of layoffs for salaried workers. Um, they're calling it voluntary, so it's not actually a layoff. So they're playing the semantic game, but it's the same
Yeah.
result. Um, there was another, I forget the other one that I was talking about, but yeah, there's a few that have had another round. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the one thing I wonder too with the auto manufacturers, I know they just had the negotiations that closed out, you know, towards the end of last year with the unions. I wonder, is it a production thing? I wonder, or is it that they're laying off to restructure to lay the groundwork for EV?
So here's the deal. Um, at least one of them hasn't actually followed through on um, providing what they were supposed to in the new contract. So they're doing
Hmm.
all of this before they give the new pieces of the contract to the employees. So I think it's a
Got it.
restructuring based on the amount of money that they gave up,
Hmm.
so that they can basically recoup the money that they gave.
Gotcha.
Um, I think down the line there will be some additional changes when it comes to their retooling for EV and all of that. A lot of those have already started to be implemented, but
Okay.
I think there'll be some additional changes when it comes to what plants do what and where the work goes, um, and that could cause some additional layoffs in the future, I believe. But that's not what's happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that, but that is of concern. Uh, for sure. So we shall see. A lot of healthcare companies are selling off their drug pharmacy sides. I wonder if that's because didn't Amazon step into the drug and pharmacy game?
Um,
I think
I
they're
didn't hear
planning.
about.
I think they're planning to.
Are they? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I think
interesting.
so. So
And Mark Cuban
we'll see.
also has a pharmaceutical company as well
Wow,
called
I'm in the
Cost
wrong
Plus
game.
Drugs. Yeah, and his is different. His is to ensure that prices are companies aren't price gouging. So he
Correct.
has a way to keep the costs low as opposed to your regular pharmaceutical companies. But yeah,
You
Yeah,
remember what was that, last year or the year before, when a lot of the pharmacies started doing group networking? So you would see like in your employee package that you can only go to Walgreens or you can only go to CVS. So I
yeah,
think that maybe that was like the groundworking of something, because then that's when Amazon said they can be able to bring it in because people start complaining about how they can get cheaper drugs in Canada and stuff, and Amazon offer delivery. So I think it's something bigger than the work, because I'll never forget 15 years ago, I read an article. They said you're going to look up, and there's only going to be three major health systems in the whole United States. And I think it's about to come to that.
yeah, yeah. Which would be a problem. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Problem in regards to competition. So all right. Good stuff, everybody. Great discussion. So we'll see what happens and what plays out. So over here, taking a look at this DXY, right? Still bouncing back and forth, right? A little bit of bullishness there, but you can look at the daily. Uh not a ton going on, struggling to pick up momentum, right? So corrected just a little bit, but that's just about it on the DXY. Any questions on the dollar? There's not a whole lot there. On the DXY. We'll see how it's moving against other currencies. All right, nope. All right, remember the DXY always, right, is heavily weighted with the euro, right, over 50%. So just always keep that in mind with the DXY. So just because we see this here moving like it is doesn't mean that there's not better price action on some of the other dollar crosses. So we'll see. We'll see what continues to happen with the DXY. All right, so let's just jump into these pairs, right? So taking a look at this Aussie CAD, right? We posted it in the group yesterday. Congratulations for those who uh were able to hold on to the trade, right? If you didn't, I understand, right? It took a while, but let's look at it from the weekly. You can see that we've got a bearish candle that's broke that 80 is broken at 88.74 a level. Okay, so it's moving south, right? We come to the daily and we can see that we were moving down, right? We've got a little bit of corrective action today, but it did what we needed it to do on the 4-hour chart. So here was the move that's been doing the dance for the last forever. And finally, we tapped into TP1. So that is a successful trade, right? We don't always know when or exactly how long a setup is going to take. That's why we use proper risk management at all times. And we can see that, right? We hit TP1. So that was a successful trade. We'll see if we get a pullback and a continuation to the downside. Maybe we can get that 225 pip target to be hit, and we'll decide what we're going to do from there. But in regards to that trade idea, that one has completed. Any questions on the Aussie CAD? Nope.
no sir.
All right. All right. So moving on, right? Take a look at this Aussie Swiss. Now, I don't know if anybody jumped this one, but I missed this one, Ryan, because I had taken, but I was been watching it on the four. This Aussie Swiss moving
Yeah, I missed that one too.
south. Yeah, I marked it up, but then I totally went away from it. So know I missed it. Maybe somebody got involved. It's moving south. There. Moving south overall on the 4, but on the 1, we've got a correction going on, and that's looking like that's going to get to that TP1. It's got back above that 56.74 daily level. That one's moving pretty good, but I am not involved. Joy says she missed it. Yep, I missed that one too. So that one coming out of that level to that TP1, 45 pips or so, right? So smaller play, I mean, obviously doesn't move too much, but it's an 80-20 nonetheless. So that one we missed. So we'll see what happens as it continues to push long. See if we get to a high price. Maybe take a look at a C to D short eventually on that. Moving on to the Aussie yen. Hold on one second, everybody. Okay. Taking a look at this Aussie yen, we can see that, right? We're gradually moving up off that 93.72 level, looking at the weekly chart. Okay, so we formed a low. We've been moving up slow and steady, right? The Aussie hasn't been the strongest, right? But overall, against that yen, we're still creeping up. So not too much movement, but moving long nonetheless. At least that's how I have it drawn up. And so here we are, right? So we've got another low here that's formed. Here's a, see here how we're moving across, higher lows, okay? Here, go all the way back to the A, here, right? So we're still projected to move long, right? Small candle, slow, but this is the way we are moving. I can adjust this now just a little bit, right? Like so. And this is the overall move we have marked up. And you can see how we've gotten the trend line break and we're just gradually moving along, right? So that 97.56 level has been a struggle, but it's trying to work back there. So we can see that we got a 50% pullback on our fib. And as choppy as it's been, is moving in an upwards direction. So that's the Aussie yen. Any questions on that? So still maintaining some bullish momentum.
No,
All
sir.
right. All right. Moving down to the Aussie dollar. Take a look at this one. Right. So look at that, Ryan. Right on the money. Right. When you notice some of these dollar crosses had evening star setting up on the weekly, and we've moved down. Right. Great job, Ryan. Right. Drop you some more sevens in the chat on that one. Identifying that. Right. That was huge. Picking up on that. And we got the downwards movement, right? Price started to move short. Look at that. Coming off that correction. Came right back. Now we're sitting here at this 65.40 level. Okay, look at that. So look, we broke 66.40. 65.40 is where we are now. Okay. And we're getting a bit of a bounce. Okay. So coming down to the 4, we can see where that came out of that zone. This is one that I did not take because it didn't reach where I wanted it to go. I wanted to retest, right? That 68.99 level. But off that evening start from the weekly, you can see our price pushed down and took out the A. So right now we flip, right? And now we have price correcting, right? So on the 1, we spotted, okay, an 80-20. And right now that is moving in our favor. We got the inner trend line break, and we are slightly up on that. Okay. So shallow retracement, less than the 382. B boundary was broken. We settled at that 65.40 daily support right in the middle of our 80-20. We draw our down trend line, right? If we need that additional confirmation, and we are long, right? Of course, right? We had the question, can you play that stop loss tighter? Of course you can, right? We mark it up at the D extension, but you want the greater risk to reward, the tighter stop. you can absolutely adjust that stop. It doesn't have to be at 57 pips, right? That's just how we're going to always post it like that. And then based on your trade plan, you make the move accordingly. Okay. So yes, you can put it below that level. Okay. Tighter stop. We know you have a higher frequency of being stopped out, but you also have a higher risk to reward. Okay. So we're not so much focused on that win percentage and strike rate. We are moving it tight and we're getting long. Okay. So we're in the middle of a play here. Got the trend line break. Of course, we're going to have pullbacks along the way. Let's see what happens with the Aussie dollar. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right. And of course, if you say, hey, the trend is down, then guess what? You needed to move to a high price anyway. You needed to move 135 pips into your sell zone to get short. All right. So either way it goes, we've got you covered in the Forex trade room. All right. So that's the Aussies. Moving on down to the CAD Swissy. All right. Okay, so we can see right where we bottomed out a bit. Okay, forming a low. So let's zoom it out on the weekly. Okay, you see where we are. We're way down south on this one. Okay, seeing if we can get some momentum back to the upside on this CAD Swiss. We can see here that on the daily, okay, bears have been in control, but we have a new AB boundary forming at 63.01. And we've got some reversal action going on, right? But already, right, our momentum, our stochastic is back in the sell zone. We'll see how long it wants to stay there. But on the 4, okay, we've been trying to play this correction to see if we can get some momentum. Slowly but surely, right, we've come off that level. And this is one I've been holding for a while, right? Kind of just letting it do its thing. Right? I don't know. Where's my I don't know. Why it's not showing up, but we'll draw it back in. Usually a pop in there, but we'll do it again. Uh, there we go. Okay. So here we are. Trying to play this correction. It's in our sweet spot. Okay. So we're trying to see if we can get that 339 pip move, right? Of course, right? Again, okay. You can move that stop tighter below that low if you want to. Okay. You can leave it wide. Totally up to you and how you want to play it. Okay. That all comes down to your trade psychology and your trade plan on how tight you want to make your stops. Okay. So this is swinging to the upside. So far, so good. It's moving in a positive direction. Right. So off that level already, that's up, right? Over 100 pips. That's a good week, right? For a lot of traders. Right. So we're looking for the larger swing. Okay, so we're looking for, this is telling us we've got 339 pips of buying potential back to that 382, potentially higher. At least that's the trade idea. Any questions on the CAD switch?
Hi, Benny. Yes, I do have a question.
Sure.
Looking at where price is, do you think it's gonna come down again before it makes a move up? Because I see support where past supports becoming future resistance. Do you think it's gonna come down one more time before?
It could, absolutely. It come down multiple times, right? And that's why over, the years, when I'm swing trading, I typically use a wider stop, right? It could come all the way back down and take out that low, right? We don't now, if you're using a tighter stop, then you're gonna get taken out. But then as long as it doesn't hit that D extension, you have to decide, okay, so it came all the way back down and wanted to make one more drive and take out the low. right? And you get stopped out. You were playing a tight stop loss and you get stopped out, right? At that point, right, it's like, okay, well, I haven't hit that D extension yet. So what I'll do is I'll just draw a trend line, right? Like so. And if we get a new low to form and it wants to, keep it in mind that I haven't gotten that 382 and I haven't hit that stop yet, then I'll entertain it going back to the upside, right? So yeah, the market, it moves in ways, it moves in ABCD ways, it consolidates, it moves all over the place. So is there a possibility, right, where you're saying has support becoming future resistance right at that beat boundary? Could you get a reaction back down or a slight correction? Absolutely, right? And so one of the things that you can do is you could drop down to your lower time frames and you can find that low, right? And so we could do this. We know that that's my TP1 target. We know that this is my low, like so. So I could go track that. Okay, great question, by the way. I can go track that through whatever time frame I want to follow it on. Okay. Okay. There's that target. So I can start running my fibs. Okay, so I can use the Fibonacci sequence, right, to track that price action, and we'll draw we'll just draw a little zone here. Right, something like that. Oops. Okay. So you can see how we got this swing going. It's ABCD way. We didn't quite get a 786, so we're looking at a D extension here. Okay, on this 1 hour fib. You follow me? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So we're in the middle of an ABCD wave here on the 1. Okay. All right. A to B, C to D. Okay. We're looking for that to complete. So if that's the case, and we still have this target that we're trying to get to right here, okay, then once we get to that extension, we know that there's a possibility that what? Price could pull back like so. All right. So this trade is already taken off from our 1 hour chart. That's the chart you want to use. We can say, you know what? It's already gone. I don't want to buy that now. If I get that D extension hit at this level and I see that correction, okay, then, right, always if then, right, keep it black and white, okay. Then I can see if it wants to move into one of my sweet spots, okay, and then I can get back long and then I can catch the wave to the upside, like so, okay. But if our idea is for it to get to this 4 hour TP1, right, we expect it to eventually push past that level and back into that AB boundary and then move long. Okay, great question. Here it is on the 30. Okay, just smaller waves as we move down. That's the 30-minute look. Similar scenario. Okay, where that D extension is just outside that zone. We could come down to the 15-minute on this CAD Swissy. Identify that low, start running the fibs. Okay. So it took you out there. Okay. there. So a little bit of a different look, right? From your 15. Okay. Now, from this 15-minute, right? If you get price to drive lower, okay, then this could give you an opportunity to say, hey, if I've missed the trade so far, then maybe I take, right, a smaller fib. Still the same concept. That's the beauty in what we do. Like, no matter what, it's the same concept being applied. Right? So if it drops lower into this zone and I haven't been involved in this trade, then off this 15-minute chart, that's a chart that I like to trade on, right? If it comes into my zone, if we get a correction, then I can still catch that move to the upside. All right. So that's that. Any other questions on the cash Swiss? Right. That keeps you within the Fibonacci framework. Like, so if you miss out on a move, always have in your mind, like, okay, I either have more upside or downside potential. How would I get involved in this trade? I'm going to use the Fibonacci sequence to get involved. Okay. Maybe I drop down some time frames, but I'm going to find a smaller wave. Right. So there's still a ways in this. If this is going to continue to get long, there's still a ways to go. Okay. So even if on my 15, you still work everything the same. So you may say, wow, I don't like holding trades that long. I know I have 339 pips of buying potential on this if it works out, but I only want to play the smaller waves. So you may say, okay, on this 15-minute chart, price is pulling back to a 61.8, for example. And I've got my stop loss below my A. And as long as it doesn't take out the A, it has no choice but to go my way. So what I'm going to do is, if it pulls back here, like that, and my D extension is here, right? Then what I'll do is I'll look to take that, right? Like so. I can do that. I don't want to hold it all the way up to the extension, but I know that 80-20 on the 4 has helped me with my directional bias. And right now, my directional bias is long. So this is what I want to do, right? So we could take that, what is that, 63.79. That stop loss is 63.50. So we're looking at 29 pips. Okay. Call it 30. It's 30. And then we've got that TP is at 64, 64, 66. And our entry would be somewhere around 63.79. Like 87 pips. Right. We'll round that up, call it 90. Right. Plus 90. Okay. And we'll call this 30. Okay. And that's how you take a larger play and you turn it into a smaller setup and a trade idea. Pretty cool when you use the fibs. Okay. That's that. Put that out like that. Questions? Right. And that's how you can, eat the elephant one bite at a time, right? Because that's the 4 hour 80, 20 TP, TP1. I don't know why. This is a new computer and I'm having a problem with my keyboard, but and that's the 4-hour TP1. There it is. All right. So that's the CAD Swiss. Moving on to the CAD Yen. Okay. Moving long, right? Moving long. Okay. And we came back, we double bottomed, right? Triple bottomed, really. 1, 2, 3 in that zone. And then we found momentum, right? So that energy trampoline right there in that zone between that weekly and that daily support. And we've been pushing long. So we had to say to ourselves, hey, this is moving to the upside, right? And so if we work our way down to the 4, we can see where we had a deep, deep pullback, H6. Well, back to the A boundaries, the one, right? To where we went all the way back 100% pretty much. And so that first TP on this 4-hour, even though we know we've got that longer play here. Okay, so this is our daily level, right? So 114.05, 114.05, right? So this is our daily, okay? This is our daily D extension. Okay, so this is our daily 1.618, daily 0.618 B extension. Okay. But because we got that deep retracement on this 4-hour, pretty much back to the A boundary, just shy of that, right? Don't be surprised if you get a reaction at the top of that B boundary, right? So you can take some profit there. But ultimately, we want to see it move back to this daily D extension. Right? Okay. So that's that. So we're moving along. If we come down to the 4, okay, smaller time frame. If you say, right, so here was our previous ABCD move that we had marked up. All right, beautiful wave. Okay. Look, A, B, had an 80-20. C, D. Can't make this stuff up. Right? Now, here we are on the 1. If we can get a pullback, you've got a daily level, support level 108.34 in red. That's how we mark our daily levels. If we can get a correction, right now our stochastic is in the buy zone, so we may break that B boundary and move up. Maybe we have an 80-20 that comes back down like on this previous stuff. So we don't say it just to say it. We say it because it occurs quite often, right? So here you broke the B boundary, price pushed up to the 80-20, collapsed, then continued. Right. So we're in a similar scenario where that could happen again. So don't be surprised. Right. So you make the decision if price pushes to this 80-20 zone before retracing 38.2%. Do we want to play this short and then get long, right? So short back to at least the 382 and then get long off that level, or do we just want to wait for the correction period and then play it long? Okay. So that's how you forecast your setup. And then you just wait. Okay, so a couple of scenarios there, but overall long on the cat yen. Any questions? No?
No,
All
sir.
right. Give me like 30 seconds, everybody. All right, so that's the CAD yen. Take a look at our Swiss yen. All right, so Swiss yen, right? Continuing to move long. This is the monthly chart. Okay, we are approaching a monthly D extension. Okay, so we're trying to break through the highs, looking for that monthly D extension to eventually be hit on the Swiss yen. This is what we're looking like on the daily. So we got to bounce off of the 382, and we're progressing long. So we can say that, hey, overall, we are bullish on the Swiss yen, and we've got little ways to go. Can we find our way to get involved in this? Okay, so this is the little diagram we had drew up for one of the lessons. But you can see how on your 4, we pull back to a 61.8, right? We double bottomed in that zone. Okay. So you hear about all this stuff: double bottoms, head and shoulders, crowns, bullish engulfing candlesticks, morning stars, evening stars, all of that stuff. The way we pull it together in the Forex trade room is that we the teacup, yep, we look for those type of price action patterns to occur in our sweet spots. It keeps it simple, right? So a lot of times people, the problem that they've had during their trading experience is, how do I pull it all together to make it make sense, to where I can consistently look for those things, consistently find those setups, and then develop a trade plan off of that, right? So I'm not just looking for double tops and double bottoms all over the chart. I'm looking for them in certain areas, right? Preferably our sweet spots. Okay, so you can see how we double bottomed off a weekly support at a 61.8. That's all types of stuff going on there, right? All types of stuff going on there. And we've been pushing long. Okay. And once you spend enough time on the charts, you start to build that confidence to say, if I see this, then I'm going to do this, right? And it becomes automatic, right? So here's a 4-hour D extension. Now, this is our monthly 1.618 D extension. That's our long-term target. We got a 4-hour level coming in before that. So now we're running this C to D leg. Okay. C to D leg. A, B, C, D. It all starts from this. Okay. So we're running this C to D leg. So the question becomes, if I wanted to get involved in this trade, is there a possibility for me to find a setup on a lower time frame? Well, on this 1 hour, okay, there's our monthly target. On this 1 hour, we haven't hit the D extension yet, right? We haven't gotten a 382 yet. I'll take this level out of here now. We haven't gotten there yet. So, okay. Then the scenario becomes, do we get a move back down? Okay. That's the 80-20 scenario, because we haven't hit that D extension yet. Okay. And get long. Leave this all together. Don't want to play nice. All right. All right. Like that. Do we get that correction now? Or do we hit this D extension and then we get a new fib to form? Right. So if price pushes up from where we are now and takes out that that D extension, that's okay, right? Because we know from there, right, our deepest retracement within the AB boundary, so our new fib will look something like this, right? Once that D extension is hit. And then, right, we can look for a correction off of this fib. Okay. So we can look for a correction of our new fib and then look to get long. Okay. That's why waiting on your sweet spots, having a trade plan is very, 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 very important. So we'll see how that plays out. Okay. We'll see how that plays out. And we'll go from there. All right. So overall bullish, we need a correction. Questions on the switch yet? All right. If I'm looking to play an 80-20 at this point, being that we've pushed beyond the 80-20 zone, right? It becomes simple, everybody. I need additional confirmation that that's going to happen because it's pushed up past our 80-20 zone. We know we haven't gotten a 382 retracement. So what do I need to see happen? Well, I want to see it start crashing through some levels. Right? Taking out some lows. And then if I get a pullback, then I can look to play that. Okay. That's how, right? Because the switch in is a huge, it's a big mover, right? So I have time to let that show me, and give me some evidence that, okay, we want to correct and we're getting downside pressure. Okay. We're getting downside pressure. I can let that break trend line and pull back. Then, right, I've got a tighter trading opportunity if I wanted to get short on that, because now it just becomes the same thing that we always do. A pull back to our sweet spot zone, work out our risk to reward 3-1, whatever, and then we look to play it back to the downside if you take the shot on that, right? If not, you just let things play out. All right, so that's the Swiss yen. Peeking in on some of these other pairs, the Euro Aussie. Right? Bullish move. Okay. So we see the common theme here, right? That Aussie, right, is catching heat. So this is putting in a low. So when we close out this week, we'll have a new weekly swing low. Okay. So this is bullish, right? Look how this came down into our zone and corrected, right? And we broke in a trend line. That's a go. Okay. Here we are on the 4. Right? Here we are on the 4. That's long. 61.8 pullback. 61.39 support in that zone. Inner trend line broken. Okay. So long term, this 4-hour, right? Right now, we've corrected off of a 61.8. We expect a 1.618 D extension. So that tells me that, hey, if this stays bullish over the long term, we can hit that D extension potentially. But for right now, here's the impulse leg that broke the inner trend line. We've gone inner to outer trend line. Price is trying to correct. So what do? I drop down to the lower time frame, and I've got a correction coming right off the B boundary, right? So here was that 1-hour play that we had posted and we're talking about, right, in the general community. Look, Morning Star, right, 61.8. This is the 1-hour chart now. 163.14 daily support gave us a Morning Star. We got a trend line break, and it was a go, right? It was a go. Stop below the A, or you can put your stop below the C. Increases your risk to reward. Okay, it's a monster move. All right, we see this over and over and over again, right? How many pairs is this now? we take the same approach. It doesn't matter. Okay? We're not worried about the personality of a currency or any of that stuff. Right? We're just trading the waves. Okay? Now, we've got a new AB boundary we're correcting. So if that long narrative is going to hold, we have a possibility here, right? Right at the edge of our buy zone, we've got a 50% pullback. That's a daily support level of 164.79. So I'm going to watch out for that. Draw your trend line. Okay. Draw your trend line. Okay. See what happens here at this level. Okay. See what happens. Maybe it pushes deeper, right? Because we know it's just not a line, it's a zone. But now look, I can move this stop up below this A. Okay. Let it pull back. Okay. Let it pull back and see if I can get that continuation. That's the game, over and over and over again. Put your stop below the A or below the C, right? If I put it below that C, I'm looking for confirmations. Morning stars, bullish engulfing candlesticks, trend line breaks, stochastic in the buy zone, right? I'm grading that trade, right? Those additional confirmations. And if they all, right, everything on my list checks off, I'm in that trade, win or lose. Why? Because it meets the criteria for my trade plan and for my trade execution. And I'm going to execute that win or lose. Why? Because I know over time I have an edge. That's it, everybody. That's it. Okay? Let it go. Now, any questions on a Euro Aussie? No?
No, sir.
All right. EuroCAD. All right. Look at our weekly. Okay. Starting to get a little bit of bullish momentum to the upside, right? Are we forming a higher low? We'll know at the end of this week. Okay. It's fighting though. Right? It's fighting though. This is a scrappy one, right? A lot of back and forth. But you can see how we pushed up and now we're ranging a bit. Okay. So here, it's fighting, it's scrapping, right? We identified this 80-20. We came up just shot at 382, came up against daily resistance, pushed down to our zone again, and now we're rebounding. Can we get a continued climb to this 382? That's where we are. We're looking for a correction. Can we get it to move higher? Right? We've got this low confirmed. We're trying to get to that target. So that one is still in progress. Any questions on that EuroCAD? All right. Okay. Euro Swissy. Take a look at it, right? Weekly. Found a low. Pushing bullish. Pushing bullish. Daily. New AB boundary formed at that daily support at 92.54, pushing bullish. We've been making down ABCDs, right? Here's the 4 hour. You got to check back. Okay, look at that. 50%, right? Didn't hit the D extension, found daily support, pushing back up in a trend line break. 1 hour. What did that represent? That gave us an 80-20. And we've come in at TP1. Everybody, we are trading zones. I don't care about it getting whipped around. I've already calculated my risk, right? Before I take every single trade. Okay. What I needed to do is get to the target, right? I don't care how it gets there or how long it takes. I need that to get to the target. So out of this 80-20 zone, right, this price has moved over 120 pips. Same thing over and over and over again. Don't overthink it. We don't need 9 indicators on our chart. We just trade the zones. Questions on the Euro Swiss?
No, sir.
All right. EJ. We've been long for the most part on these yen crosses. Might as well stay long on this one, right? We put in a low, it's been moving bullish, right? That's clear. Okay. It's moving long. We broke above 158.54, right? We were wondering, and it broke it. Look, break, huge bullish engulfing candle. Look at the check back. Held. Right? So we have to take that at face value and say, hey, we're going to continue to move long for now. Okay. Now we were looking at this, right? This has been just a crazy mess, but it's an ABCD wave nonetheless. Okay. We can't get distracted by all of the noise. We have to see the overall pattern, right? We have to see the overall pattern. So now, when we were looking at this over the weekend and whatnot, right, we were wondering, is it going to hold? Right? We drew that trend line, counter trend line. Look what happened. It held and it broke. Right? So I don't know if anybody took that or paid attention to that, but that continued long. We formed a what? A higher low. Now we pushed to a higher high. Okay. Small ABCD waves. Here we are on the one, just a zoomed in view. You can see where we have marked that trend line break on the one as well. And it did, and it moved to the D extension. Look at that. Okay. A, B, C, D. Our C becomes our new A, our D becomes our new B. Now we've got a new AB boundary, right? So this little play behind here where we had drew it up on the weekend with that stop loss right below that level of support at 158.54.45, that stop loss, look, that trend line break occurred and that continued along its path to the D extension, right? Over 200 pips. Now we have a new AB boundary. So if we're going to continue long, I need a low price. Stop below the A or below the C. We know we've got this 158.54 level that had already retested. Maybe we come back to it. Okay. Maybe we come back to it and we get long. Okay. Okay. Maybe. Okay. AB boundaries to back signal. Maybe we get a shallow retracement, push up to the 80-20 zone, and then move back down. Okay. We'll let that sit there, and we'll let it figure out what it wants to do. All right. Any questions on the EJ? No? All right. Euro NZD. Uh-oh. Euro NZD. Found support. Long. Okay. Notice the trend with the euros as of late. They have been bullish with a capital B. Okay. Here's our daily. We found support. We broke 177.40. Here we are on the 4. Okay. We mark this one up on the weekend as well. Okay. The rituals are important. And we can see that we've moved out of that zone. And the trend line broken. Look at the swing. Okay. So right now we have to say we're making up ABCD ways. And if we come to the 1, right, we've got an 80-20. We've got an 80-20. We've pushed bullish, a little bit overextended. So the question becomes, do we get this move to play out? Now, right now, we have a break. It's moving sideways a bit. But what I want to see is, right, we can take out this low. This is a low. This is a low here. We've actually got a couple, right? Somewhere in this zone, we've got a swing lows, 2 of them actually, right? But hey, what I want to see is this 177.40. Can we get back below it? That's a daily level, right? Can I get back below that level? Right? Can I get back below this level? Go back down. Okay. Take us back to a low price. Any questions on the Euro NZD?
No, sir.
All right. Last one, Euro USD. Okay. All right. Just going to cover this one real quick. We got the move down and we reached on the 1 hour chart, we reached TP2 off of this 80-20, right? So we're sitting at a low price now. Okay. Moving a bit sideways. 80-20, 2 TP levels. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to draw my downtrend line like so. That. To see if price wants to start reversing out. Okay. Because we're back above 108.78. Okay. Back above 108.78. Like so. Okay. Let's put our cloud on this. Not there yet. Okay. So this is one to look out for. Right. Can we get price to reverse at this level? Right. So we've made the money. We've got secured the bag on the 80-20 play. Now, do we eventually break out and get back long, right? We know that dollar's moving sideways, the DXY is at least, okay? So that's that. Any questions over anything that we covered today, everybody? I know we went over quite a bit. All right, Ryan, anything to add before we wrap things up, sir?
A great session, bro. Nope, nothing to add today.
All right, everybody, we'll see you back tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. Remember, don't just count those pips, but always count your blessings. Have a good day, everybody.